The public narrative around the Lakers was simple. LeBron James arrived and rescued a struggling franchise. But behind closed doors, that framing never fully sat right with ownership. According to a recent ESPN report, there had been quiet frustration inside the organization for a long time. Not public statements, not press conferences, private grumbling. Concerns about how the story was being told, that the Lakers needed saving, and that LeBron was the sole reason the franchise stayed relevant. There were also deeper issues: tension over ego, questions about long-term commitment, and even moments where extending his contract didn't feel like a sure thing. At one point, the idea of trading him wasn't completely off the table, and this was before he gained full leverage with a no-trade clause. Then ESPN drops one of the most explosive behind-the-scenes reports we've seen in years. And this isn't just basketball drama. This is family drama, the kind that feels less like a sports story and more like an episode of Succession. Power struggles, resentment, old wounds, and right in the middle of it all, the most famous player in the world. What makes the timing even stranger is when this story surfaced. The trade deadline was just weeks away. LeBron had just been left out as an all-star starter for the first time in over 2 decades. And suddenly, a report appears detailing internal fractures that stretch back years. That's not random. To understand why this matters, you have to zoom out, far beyond LeBron. The Lakers aren't just a basketball team. They're a family empire, one that began when Dr. Jerry Buss bought the franchise in 1979 and built it into the most glamorous brand in the NBA. His vision was simple: keep the Lakers in the family forever. When Jerry Buss passed away in 2013, that vision started to crack. He left behind 6 children, spread across 2 generations with vastly different relationships, priorities, and power. Jeanie Buss emerged as the controlling owner, but sources described Jerry as the glue that had been holding everything together. Once he was gone, the internal conflicts escalated quickly. By 2017, Jeanie had fired her own brother from basketball operations. Lawsuits followed. Power was consolidated. And years later, according to the report, a private family conversation crossed a line so shocking, it revealed just how deep these divisions had become. And that's where this story truly begins. Not with LeBron, but with a family already on the brink. No matter how messy the backstory gets, there's one moment in this report that's impossible to ignore. According to ESPN, a private exchange between Jeanie Buss and her younger brother crossed a line that stunned people inside the organization. One team source described it as mind-blowing, saying it didn't matter who you were or what the circumstances were. Certain things simply shouldn't be said. That moment, multiple sources believe, marked the beginning of the end of the Buss family as a unified ownership group. And the fallout was real. When the sale to Mark Walter was finalized last October, Jeanie moved swiftly and decisively. Every one of her siblings was removed from their roles with the Lakers. Joey and Jesse were let go early in the season, despite the team starting 11-4. Jim, Johnny, and Jeanie were already gone. By the end of it, the only Buss still working for the franchise was Jeanie herself. Which brings us to the part everyone actually cares about: LeBron James. According to the ESPN report, the fracture wasn't limited to family. Over time, Jeanie's frustration extended to LeBron as well. Privately, she bristled at what she viewed as an outsized ego and the level of influence exerted by LeBron and his representation. There was growing discomfort with how much control players appeared to have over basketball decisions, and how little accountability followed when things went wrong. One issue in particular stood out. When LeBron joined the Lakers in 2018, Jeanie reportedly disliked how the story was framed publicly, that he chose the Lakers rather than the Lakers being credited for securing him. Team sources have long maintained that LeBron's camp had quietly signaled his intent to come as early as 2017. In Jeanie's view, the organization knew he was arriving, yet the spotlight never shifted away from him. But the relationship truly deteriorated after the Russell Westbrook trade. In the summer of 2021, the Lakers were close to finalizing a deal that would have brought Buddy Hield to Los Angeles, keeping key role players and surrounding LeBron and Anthony Davis with shooting. Instead, the front office pivoted at the last moment toward Russell Westbrook. Multiple reports indicated that both LeBron and Davis favored adding a third star and encouraged the team to pursue Westbrook over the original plan. The results were catastrophic. The Lakers finished 33-49, missed the playoffs entirely, and effectively slammed their championship window shut. According to ESPN, Jeanie was furious, not only with the outcome, but with the perception that LeBron distanced himself from responsibility as blame shifted elsewhere. By 2022, frustration had hardened into something more serious. Sources told ESPN that Jeanie privately questioned whether LeBron should even receive another contract extension. At one point, she reportedly floated the idea of trading him, even to the Clippers. While that discussion never came close to reality, the fact it was entertained at all speaks volumes about how far the relationship had deteriorated. And then came Bronny James. When the Lakers drafted Bronny late in the 2024 draft, it was publicly framed as a historic feel-good moment. Privately, ESPN reports that Jeanie felt LeBron should be grateful and believed he wasn't. From LeBron's perspective, the situation looked very different. He had delivered a championship, restored relevance to the franchise, and now found himself expected to show gratitude for a late second-round pick. What stands out the most in this entire story isn't just what was said, it's when it was said. According to ESPN, Jeanie Buss didn't want to extend LeBron James. She felt like she had to, almost begrudgingly accepting that not doing so would trigger a massive public backlash. That alone is shocking. A franchise cornered into extending one of the greatest players ever, not because of belief, but because of optics. And that brings us to the timing. This report drops on January 21st. The trade deadline is February 5th, exactly 2 weeks later. LeBron has just been snubbed as an all-star starter for the first time in 21 years. The last time that happened was his rookie season in 2004, the same year his son was born. He missed the first 14 games of the season with sciatica. He's 41 years old. And suddenly, a detailed report appears outlining years of private resentment from ownership. That's not a coincidence. NBC Sports and other outlets are already reporting that league sources expect LeBron and the Lakers to part ways this summer. Multiple reports suggest this could be his final season in purple and gold. So now you have to ask the uncomfortable question. Is this article laying the groundwork? Is this the Lakers' version of the story being released before LeBron potentially walks away in free agency? Or is it coming from the other side? Someone close to LeBron wanting the public to understand that he wasn't operating in a supportive environment. Because make no mistake, when LeBron eventually leaves the Lakers, there will be a narrative war. And this report just fired the opening shot. LeBron hasn't directly addressed the article, but he did respond, in his own way. Shortly after it dropped, he posted a close-up of his "Shut Up and Dribble" Nike sneakers with the words "Still King" stamped across them. Then he followed it up with a comment in all caps. No explanation, no denial, no apology. The message was clear. He's not backing down. And here's the thing. The numbers back him up. The Lakers are 26-16, fifth in the Western Conference. LeBron is averaging 22.6 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 6.9 assists on over 50% shooting at 41 years old, after missing the first chunk of the season. Whatever frustrations ownership may have had about ego or influence, the production hasn't fallen off a cliff. By any objective measure, he's still one of the most impactful players in the league. But to really understand the situation, you have to zoom out even further. Since Jerry Buss passed away, the Lakers have missed the playoffs 7 times in 11 seasons. Under Jerry, they missed the playoffs just twice in 34 years. They won 10 championships under his leadership. Since then, they've won 1 in 2020, with LeBron leading the way. 7 of the 11 worst seasons in franchise history by winning percentage have come since Jeanie took over, including the 4 worst. So when frustrations surface about LeBron's ego or outside influence, it's fair to ask, where was this energy when the franchise was losing before he arrived? The Lakers were irrelevant for 5 straight years in the second largest market in basketball. LeBron shows up, and within 2 seasons, they're champions. Yes, the Westbrook trade was a disaster. There's no arguing that. And yes, LeBron's influence over roster decisions may have hurt the team at times, but championships have a way of washing away a lot of mistakes, and he delivered one. The idea that ownership quietly resented him while he was winning games and restoring relevance is hard to reconcile. So what happens now? LeBron is in the final year of his contract after opting into his $52.6 million player option. The trade deadline is approaching fast. If the Lakers were serious about one final run, now would be the moment to push their chips in. But based on everything we've learned, do they even want to? The All-Star reserves will be announced soon. The All-Star game itself is in Los Angeles this year. This could very well be LeBron's final chapter with the Lakers, played out on the biggest stage possible. And after this season, everything is on the table. Another run elsewhere, a reunion, a final title chase, or retirement. Whatever happens, one thing is now undeniable. The relationship between LeBron James and the Lakers organization was never as smooth as it appeared. Years of tension, power struggles, resentment, and dysfunction were hiding beneath the surface. And with one report, the curtain has finally been pulled back. Now the only question left is who controls the ending. Let me know what you think. Was this inevitable? Was this avoidable? And when LeBron's time in LA ends, who do you think history will side with? Drop your thoughts below.